Jai Guru ma'am, we are live already.
Yeah, Jai Gurudev. Okay. Jai Gurudev, everyone. Good morning. It's 11 a.m. and we are here with another session on skill development. And I'm happy to see some kids have already joined. So let us chant Om 3 times. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Join your hands. Take a deep breath in and we will chant Om 3 times. Yes, you can do it with me. Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay, so I was mentioning in the last session when I had it with you that I will come back. And do you remember, any of you remember which session I took last time? I'm also reading the chats here, your YouTube chat. So we'll continue to put messages, comments there. We'll keep it little bit interactive, okay? Okay, so I'll inform you. We learned about communication as a skill. Yes, and just a second, I'm opening my slides. So in my last session, we talked about communication and we talked more about the spoken communication. Yes. Do you remember anything from the last session? We talked about the 3 V's. Yes. And I also mentioned to develop active communication or effective communication skills, we have to acquire active listening. So the more we listen, the more better we communicate. Right? So today we are going to explore a little bit, and I am going to talk about communication as a skill, not as a subject. Okay, there is a difference. So I'm not going to talk about types of communication, formal, informal, interpersonal, and then further their types. We are talking about skills, how to develop life skills, and we will be talking about very, very basic of what we can do in our everyday life to make our communication more effective, right? So in our last session, we talked about spoken communication, and then we can use verbal, vocal, and visual, signs to improve our spoken communication. Today, we will be talking about active listening, and I give you 3 to 5 seconds to just grab a paper and a pen quickly. Can you all grab a paper and a pen very quickly? Let's do some activity. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whatever, pen, pencil, anything. Okay, so first of all, let's see what is the difference between hearing and listening. You know, hearing is different than listening? Yes or no? Yes. So hearing is perceiving sounds in your environment. Now, when I'm talking with you, I can still hear noises around me. I can hear someone talking or the noise of my fan or water dripping somewhere. So this is hearing, which is involuntary. I don't have to put any effort there. It is happening. But in listening, it's a voluntary effort. Means you have to involve a part of your brain to listen. Okay? It's not, the hearing is effortless, but listening, you need focus. Okay? For listening, you need focus. Okay? And listening is intentional. You have to think before you make a point. You have to be ready to listen. Right? So are you all ready to listen today? Are you all ready to just test how your listening skills are? Okay, so let me just stop sharing because I'll be reading out some instructions for you. And I want you to grab your paper and pencil, and I am going to give you some instructions now. And you have to listen very carefully and draw what I say. Listen very carefully and draw what I say. Are you ready? Okay. I will go slow so you can do it. Okay. Draw a medium-sized triangle on the top of the paper. Make sure one of the point is pointing up. I'll repeat. Draw a medium-sized triangle on the paper. Make sure one of the points of the triangle is pointing up. Done? Now, second instruction is draw a half circle under the triangle so that the flat part of the half circle is touching the flat part of the triangle. Draw a half circle on the triangle so that the flat parts of the triangle and the half circle is touching each other. Yeah, I'll repeat. Payal, I'll repeat. A half circle you have to draw over the triangle where the flat part of both the triangle and the half circle is touching each other. Okay. Draw a medium-sized circle under the half circle. Draw a medium-sized circle over or under, it's a 2D thing. A half circle on the circle, it should overlap. The half circle and circle should overlap. But remember, the half circle should not be completely covered. Okay? The curved part of the half circle should be slightly visible. I'll repeat the third instruction. Draw a medium-sized circle over the half circle so that they overlap, but the half circle is not completely invisible. Ready? Shall I go ahead? Yeah. Now you draw a very small circle over the top of the bigger circle. All right. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep trying. A very small circle over the top of the bigger circle. Okay. Now I want you to draw small rectangles, very small rectangles inside the circle Whichever way. You just draw 5, 7 small rectangles inside the bigger circle. You can face them in all directions. Okay, just randomly make the horizontal, vertical, however you want to face them. You can face them in any which way, any direction. So your drawing is done. Do you want to see what you have just drawn? All right, be ready to see what you have just drawn. This is what you drew. You can actually send me your pictures. You can see what you have drawn exactly. Did you draw this? We just drew an ice cream. Does your picture look like an ice cream? How many of you got it right? Sorry, just a second. I'll just show you the picture. 1 second. So this is what we just drew. No, it doesn't look like an ice cream. Okay, okay. That's okay. That's okay. So it happens, when we are speaking, you see what just happened. You realize what happened, right? Okay, let's play one more game. Let's play one more game. I'm going to say and you're going to repeat. So when I say you're going to repeat, you can write it in the comment. You can put it in the comments. I'll just say a few words. You have to put those words in the same order. It's very simple, very simple. Okay. So if I say can, ball, you just have to mention it in the same order. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the sequence now. I'll be taking 4 words: can, ball, soda, disco. Quickly write it down. What did I say? I cannot repeat this in this game. I won't be able to repeat it. Okay, I think everybody has taken the first one. So I'll just add one more word to my previous series. Okay, listen to this carefully. Everybody, shake your ears. Listen to it carefully. Can, ball, soda, disco, penguin. Great, great. Okay. Okay, now my series is increasing, so be very mindful. I'm telling you my next instruction. Can, ball, soda, disco, penguin, yellow. Great. Very nice. Suma, Vivan, Narsimha, Manoj, Balaji, great going. Okay, great. All right. I am going to do this for the last time. And now the words are going to be 8. Okay, listen to it carefully. Let us try, all of you. Can, ball, soda, disco, penguin, yellow, bookshelf, plates. Let's take a minute to see all the comments. Yes, Balaji has got it right. Manoj has got it right. Excellent. So you are really listening. Yeah. So many of you. Yes. Wonderful. Great. So now you have understood. Do you realize that hearing is different from listening? Yes. You have understood the difference. Yes. And can you tell me what else was involved when you were listening? What was really happening? What did you really do? When I say what did you really do, I want you to know what was really happening. You were putting focus. Yes, you were focusing on what I was saying. You were using your intention. You were ready to listen. Isn't it? Am I right? So why is this listening so important? Let's just go through the slides very quickly. It is important because if I had no answer in the chat box at all, I would have felt a little disconnected. I would have felt the listeners are not attentive. You're not there with me. So whatever I am saying, I would not been able to build the connection, right? I would feel that I am not understood. Yes. So, why is listening important? Because it makes the speaker feel heard and understood. It helps you build strong relationships and it helps you build deeper connection. And the same thing, if you remember, we also spoke about when we were talking about spoken communication. Why do we have to communicate? Is to build deeper connection and relationships, right? And to be able to connect well. Yes. So, and what are the other benefits of active listening? You become a better student. You are perceived as a better friend. And if you see that when you're attentive to people, people start coming to you more because they feel that you are listening to them and you're perceptive and you kind of you respond to them the way they want, right? So it helps people recognize you as intelligent and perceptive, not like, you'll pass our time, or it's fine, we'll just gossip and come back, right? And good listening can also help your public speaking skills, right? So let's move on. Now, I want to talk about it, and I want to tell you that there are two checkpoints. So before you try to acquire listening skills, there are two things. Actually, these two prerequisites are there to acquire any skill for that matter, right? If you want to do something with the food, you want to do something with the your clothing, you want to actually, you're mindful and you're watching and you want to change a habit, anything, any skill you want to acquire, these are the two requisites that are very, very important, which are commitment and practice. So now we have to understand that we are talking about something which we need to develop. It's not there, we need to develop it, right? And how would you develop it? You will have to practice. You will have to practice some strategies and you will need to be committed towards that. Okay. So you have to, first of all, tell yourself that I want to become an active listener. I want to improve my communication. I would be listening more in my conversation and then take a pause, understand what is happening, and then respond or react. Okay. And to develop active listening skills, we'll be talking about these 4 points today. All right. So these 4 points are the main learning from today's session. First is you focus fully on the speaker. Do you know what is focus? And do you know why we are not able to focus for a long time when we are listening? That's because when we speak, we speak 125 to 150 words a minute. Okay. But our brain has the capacity to comprehend 600 words a minute. Okay. So what is happening here is that our brain is more capable and is underutilized during the time we are listening. Got it? So what happens at that time is that um, our focus, it varies, it goes here and there, and while even when we are trying to focus, we are also being able to listen to the noises around or get distracted or see something else happening, because there is this gap. Okay, but we have to focus fully on the speaker. We have to show that you're listening to the speaker. Second is, you can avoid interrupting. So there are times when you're listening to a conversation, but you want to immediately share your own experience, and you want to talk about what you know. But a good listener would always stop interrupting. And maybe when the time is there, when the proper time is there, remember the last time when we talked about right time, right people, and accurate and honest conversation. Yeah. So I will tell you a few things that you could do is, while spoken communication, we said that you should never hide your face or or your mouth. In for this strategy, we can always just remind ourselves that we have to keep the mouth closed. So you can use any physical gesture for that, any other sign for that. You have to remember to keep your mouth closed. Second is that you can make notes. So once this thought is arising that you want to talk instead of listening, you can start making notes. Okay. And third thing is that you have to completely remind yourself again and again, today I am here to listen more. Let her finish, or him finish, and then I'm going to speak. Third thing we are talking about is stop being judgmental. So what happens usually is that at the back of our mind, yes, no, I know, yeah, I've heard this before. All of those conversations are going on because of our past experiences. Or sometimes what happens that you know about somebody, and you have that pre-notion, you have that perception about that person, and so you are constantly thinking, I know he's going to say that, I know she's going to do that. So, and one more thing is that for one idea, there could be so many different kinds of opinions. So one thing that we need to understand is just accept it on a surface level, and we should stop being judgmental about the right and the wrong, and create pre-notions about different ideas, right? Everybody in their own shoes is correct, and everybody has a right to express. So once we understand that, we become a little calmer when any conversation is happening where we are not agreeing with the speaker. It makes us more calm when we know that, okay, we don't have to judge it, let him finish or let her finish. Yes. Fourth thing is, you show that you're interested. And how do you show you're interested? Again, your non-verbal clues, again, your body language, and you can also show it through some signs like nodding the head, or you can use utterances, short utterances like uh-huh, yeah, hmm. These kind of utterances make the speaker believe that you are interested and you're listening. And then you can also give words of encouragement, and you can also react to the conversation in between, like, oh really awesome, how was that? So these little affirmations in between make the speaker believe that you are listening. Yeah. So these are main four ideas that you can immediately quickly grasp and remember, and try to include in your daily conversation and your communication to make yourself as an active listener. Okay. And so people, they know, okay, I will try, I try this, but I fail. And a lot of times it happens that people, they are not able to really go through a long time on these strategies. Why do they fail? Is because sometimes people are interrupted by other noises around. All right. So these noises could be physiological noises, like noises in your environment, the nature or vehicles or whatever, your surroundings. And there could also be psychological noises. So there is something else, your past experience can bother you. There is something in the back of the head always happening. So even those noises can bother us during when we are talking or listening. Yes. Second thing we need to know is the attention span of our listeners. If I know that my child will not be able to listen for more than 2 minutes and I have my conversation for 10 minutes, I should be the one to judge whether it is correct or not, or whether it will be meaningful. How much will I be able to deliver in that conversation? So, and you should know that different people have different attention span. It is natural. Yes. So, you can share this with your parents also. Your parent can also have different kind of attention span, and remember, right time, right people, all those strategies come along. Yes. Then again, biases. Some people are biased towards certain thing. So even when they're listening to a different opinion, they have a block there. Biases work as a block in your mind. You don't want to accept what the other person is saying, and so listening does not happen. Okay. Same ways, apprehensions like fear in your mind, or you're scared to talk to somebody. So if you are really apprehensive about a person, then whatever the person says, because of fear or anxiety or nervousness, you won't be able to listen properly. Okay. And we also have to know and learn that listening is, again, like how your communication skills will develop over a long period of time. Same ways, listening also is a long term process. You have to just be committed and keep practicing. That is the key, right? So and with sometimes when people say, okay, I'll try making notes and everything, but sometimes for some people it becomes boring, it becomes uninteresting every time making notes, so people give up. Okay, so these are some of the if we know about why people fail, we can also reflect and understand what is happening with ourselves and what is the barrier that we are facing ourselves, which is not allowing us to progress in our mission towards listening actively, isn't it? So um yeah, and then how do you improve? You make a deliberate effort to listen to something new. It could be a podcast, it could be an audio, it could be anything. You watch a video, but if you're watching a video, then you should not have subtitles. You don't use subtitles when you're practicing listening. It's an important point. So, but you have to make a deliberate effort to listen to something new every day. It could be a piece of news, it could be a story, an audio story, or anything. Okay, that's one thing. Secondly, you don't have to do it in your free time. You have to create and you have to make an effort to create time for this exercise. Why is this important? Because it is not something that you would play and leave. Okay, I'll just play the music and I'll work also, I'll just quickly finish other tasks around. No, not like that. Then at that time it is hearing, it's not listening. Okay, another thing is you don't do other activities which distract you. So okay, I'll put up this story, or I'll just put up this audio clip, but and I'll finish my homework along with it. Don't do that. It will not help. Okay. So, and again, your commitment and your practice. These are few things which will help you to improve your listening skills. Let us just quickly watch what Gurudev has to say on this. Are you ready? I'm also going to share my screen again. Are you able to hear?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Just a second. There is this ad. I'll just stop share here 1 second. Just give me a second. I'll get back with the video here.
Skill is needed even in speaking, in communicating. Suppose you are talking to somebody and they're going on tangent. Either you have the patience and you have time, you listen the whole thing about that, what they're saying. Or you skillfully cut it and say what you want to put in them. Now, this is a very skillful thing to do. One is listening and another is you telling what they should know. If you are only listening, then you are not making an impact. Okay, you have listened to them and they go back with their own mind, with the same opinion that even you have endorsed their opinion. And if you are simply pumping your opinion on somebody, to someone, it may be true, it may be the right thing of your perception, but you have not given a hearing or you have not listened to what they have to say, then also the communication is gone. Because the person is not going to take anything because he wants to say something. When you are wanting to say something, your listening becomes very low. So it is a very tricky situation, very balanced act you have to do. You have to listen to them a little bit, but they may go on and on. Then you interrupt because you don't have time to waste. So do it in such a delicate manner, in such a skillful manner that you cut across and tell them exactly what, when you see where their mind is going, which direction the conversation is taking. Many of you do not know how to steer the conversation. If a conversation begins and it goes somewhere, it goes in mango, discussion about mango, and then weather in Bangalore, and it will go to politics, and then from politics it will go to share market. You have lost your way. It's like a newspaper. And then suddenly go into someone's matrimony. So, and you have wasted 1 whole hour in talking about all these things and nothing fruitful has come out of this discussions. And nobody has felt any value for that communication. You cannot do that. So, in such a case, if you are skillful, if you are aware, what you do, where you have to have that clarity in mind, where you want to steer the dialogue, how to steer the subject matter of discussion. This you must know. At the same time, you should not appear to be rigid, rude and insensitive. Insensitive people do it and it shows up very well. Someone, hey, jo main kehta hu wahi karo. What I am saying, you just do this. They are not even listening to other person. They are very bad managers. People working under them will run away. Because though they may be correct and they don't intend to be dictatorial, but they come out as a very dictatorial personality. So communication has a lot of skills. You need to have these skills in communication. Then you can get over many conflicts which engulf your life and your environment. Moving with the conflict is the last one to do. Sometimes in spite of all the communication, it may not work. You must be prepared for it. If you have this feeling, oh, in spite of all this, it may not work, be prepared for that. Then you will not lose your heart, you will not lose your patience. Yeah.
So I hope you got the, you could read between the lines what Gurudev was trying to say here. Yes. And so what was the takeaway for you from the video? Anyone? See, we have now spoken about strategies how to spoken English, right? 3 V's of the spoken English. We have just done that, and how Gurudev has told that, sometimes the conversations become very long and you don't have that much time. So how do you steer in the conversation? So you use your 3 V's there, okay, and you get back to the point. Yeah, so that is also extremely important. Yes. So getting back, let us just quickly summarize what we have learned in these 2 sessions, the last one and this one. Active listening is the key ingredient towards building effective communication skills, right? Active listening improves relationships and build deeper connection. 2 prerequisites to acquire listening skills are commitment and practice. Now, to develop active listening, you focus on the speaker, avoid interrupting, interrupt when you feel, and you steer the conversation very skillfully without hurting other person, using 3 V's. Yeah. Avoid being judgmental. Again, Gurudev also spoke about it. Don't think the other person also has an opinion, and we should respect that. And you show you're interested through your body language and through utterances that you can make. We need to deliberately create some time to practice listening. It shouldn't be a free time or time when we are doing something else. And remember, if the conversation is not meaningful, then you use 3 V's. You can steer the conversation without hurting others. Be mindful. You can stop, breathe. You can again listen, and you can create a positive response. Yeah. And you make your communication effective and purposeful. Now, I just want to make a very small point here, that we are talking about basic communication skills. Nowhere I have said that it is about good English speaking or good English skills. You can communicate in whichever language you choose to. We are talking about communication as a skill, and communication is not about only having good English skills. Okay, but if you want to develop good English language skills, then again you will have to listen to the audios and whatever we have discussed in that particular language, and you can actually develop any spoken language skills in any of the languages that you're interested in, just through by these activities that we have just discussed today. You listen to that more often. Do not use subtitles. Create time to listen to something in that language. Particularly that time should not be, it should be that dedicated time. So all that what we have learned today, you can actually develop skills in any language, but communication is not about using a particular language. Yes. So that's all about today's workshop. I hope you enjoyed our conversation, and thank you so much for your participation. And I saw some very creative messages also, which is great. And if you have any questions, then of course, I will leave my email ID. And I received a few emails even last time. A few children, they wrote to me personally about their experiences and what they learned from the workshop. And you can also share, and if you want to know something more, you can share your experience about the workshop in the comment. I'm putting my email ID. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Jai Gurudev. Enjoy your day.